Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls. Let's do it. Welcome back to Next Shit in the Dark.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Chase the Chaz Greepeck, and with me is always Braden the Brad, Neil.
Stir.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you forgot
Neil
that part.
Stir. Braden the Brad, Neil Stir. My bad, dude. You think with how long we've been friends and how long we've known each other,
Right.
and how
With
long we've
all of
been
our
doing
nicknames
this,
for each other.
I'd remember your actual last name.
Yeah, it's Neil Stir.
Neil Stir.
Most people don't know that.
Braden the Brad, Neil Stir. Yeah. So we're here live. I always
And
say
thriving.
live. I always say live.
Yeah.
We're never live. We've
Are
never.
we?
No. I mean, when we played Twitch that time, but we're not live. And I say that every time. I'm trying to get out of these little loops I get myself into, where we'll start a podcast and I say like either the same thing, basically the same thing, and I just don't want to. I think
you don't want to get stale.
We need an intro, but we need like a real intro, like a real like when podcasts start usually. So with South Park, I've been saying
they all have their
the
thing.
same thing. I don't know if we should do that exactly, but I also it's like we're being random.
Yeah. Wait, so you're
and I'm saying the same shit.
You're complaining that you're doing the same shit.
Yep.
Being random, so you think the solution to that is to find a planned out thing we say every time. The same
The
thing.
definition of insanity. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Yeah, so what do you want
I don't know.
in life?
I just want, I just hope we're starting these things off fine and people don't care too much.
I think they suck.
Yeah. It is pretty garbage. It is pretty garbage.
I think they suck. I think we suck.
Whoa, come on. Don't shit on the shitters, dude.
No, I'm talking about our intros, not the shitters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, gotcha.
No, yeah, to clarify.
He loves the shitters.
Yeah.
He says it
We love the
every time
shitters.
we end the show. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get into all that. I just wanted to start fun.
No, let's get into all that
No,
right now.
I ruined it with my stupid
We're going
feelings.
to get into much more controversial topics tonight
That's
anyways.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. So we should probably start with my feelings.
Right.
Okay.
'Cause that's what everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, that's why they
How are
tuned
you
into Nerd
feeling
Shit in
right
the
now?
Dark to see how I, 31-year-old man,
It's feeling.
father of one, is feeling. I'm alright.
Yeah.
So, But I have got a lot of nerd shit to talk about tonight that I actually didn't think I was going to have a lot. And I have a lot.
That's good. You're going to outclass me tonight then.
Don't I always, though?
I was going to say, for
I'm-
the first time, you're going to outclass me tonight.
I'm gonna lead this podcast like I always do.
Mm,
Good
debatable,
leader
but-
move. To
yeah, I'm sure.
have lots of stuff ready to talk about.
Right.
Right.
Captain of the ship.
Sailing it. Keeping her steady.
Does the captain sail the ship as well, or does he delegate that to another role?
This captain does.
You sail the ship. So
This captain does it all, yeah.
Yeah, you
I think your usual captain might let that shit just go to other people. Not me. This
You gotta
captain
control
wants his
all.
crew to be... I just want my crew to feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
taking...
set the sails too?
I set the... Dude, I do.
Drop the anchor?
Basically.
You cook?
Yeah, I do everything but maybe
You do
like
everything?
fight off with like cannons. Like somebody's got to be
Yeah.
on cannon while I'm on the sword. And that's you.
I gotta be on the cannon
Sure, yeah.
while you're on the sword.
Well, like if we get attacked, you're the guy shooting and I'm the guy like battling with swords.
Well, if we're already at that stage, wouldn't we both be battling with swords?
No,
if they
because
got that
I'm
close to us?
imagining we're at sea and
So I gotta shoot.
some of them are swinging onto our boat, but
Okay.
you're shooting that boat with cannon. You see, have you ever seen a pirate movie?
Nice.
That's
like-
you though. That's
feel like
you
we
on
could
my
both-
crew. You're the
I feel
guy
like we
that
could
shoots the
both do
cannon.
that. I don't know if we need to split those roles.
We could though.
Am I not allowed to sword fight?
No, it's more that I don't want to do the cannon.
Okay, because you're
And
not
like I
good
said, I'm
aiming.
doing everything else, so I would like you to just be the cannon guy.
Yeah, because you can't shoot a cannon.
Right. So I need you to be the cannon guy.
Right.
And that's how you are to me.
The cannon guy.
The cannon guy
Yeah.
for the podcast. You're my cannon guy, dude. I'm doing everything else, and I'm loving it. I'm happy you're having a good time.
How many other people are on our crew if you're doing everything else?
No, it's just me and you. It's
Okay.
It's Third Shit in the Dark. Miranda's kind of there. She's just watching, though. You know?
Yeah.
She's managing. Your momager.
So it kind of sounds like
Momager Miranda now.
she's the captain. She's managing things.
Well, no.
Isn't that what a captain is?
No, it's not.
We're kind of just like a sea manager.
You said C-Man.
And manage.
Fuck you.
Right.
No.
So you are the captain.
Moving on. It's a great special show here tonight at Nerd Shit in the Dark. for a lot of reasons. Couple reasons. Are you comfortable with talking about your personal life?
No.
Not even a little? I have a son now. I have a son now. So it's the first episode. I have my son, and he's on the show.
He is. He's here with us in the room right now.
He is in the room. And you, Braden, are seeing a girl.
That is correct.
Who might be watching this episode.
Well, listening.
Yeah. Right. So I had a son a couple weeks ago, and Braden made up a girlfriend, basically, so we'd stop feeling bad for him. And he keeps telling us these stories about her, like, and then I'm like, hey, you should bring her around. And he hit me with like, she's busy. She's gotta go home. Shopping. Yeah. She lives in a made-up town in Pennsylvania. Okay. Cool, dude. That none of us had ever heard of. Even Google was like, I don't know, like a bunch of miles.
She is real.
Okay, yeah, dude. Yeah. Super excited.
No, I swear
So that's what
to God,
we got going on.
Just give me a few more weeks to bring her around.
Gotcha.
And I swear, she is a real human.
We'll prove it live on the show if it's real, but assume that if you never hear from this girl, that Braden is making up a girl, which it was getting to a point where I don't, blame him for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you already have a son, so you don't have to worry about it. Is that where we're talking? Is that where we're going, huh?
No, I'm not really sure. It was, we were just really worried about you. I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And we're glad you are.
With my real girlfriend.
Even if you had to make her up to make you feel better.
Right.
We love you that much that we support what you want to do that makes you feel better, Braden.
But yeah, no, my real girlfriend and I are... No, but yeah, it's going well. We are doing pretty well together. I think she enjoys my time with her. I enjoy my time with her.
Because if you don't recall, we set out on this podcast not just to tell stories about the things we're playing, but also to kind of chronicle our lives a little.
Right.
So viewers that have been with us just this past year, I guess, but we've been recording for a while, you would learn our journeys, how far we've come.
Our trials and tribulations that we've had to overcome.
I'm a father.
Wow.
And Braden's making up a girlfriend. It's crazy how life changes.
All from being forged during the pandemic.
God bless the pandemic.
God bless the pandemic. If we didn't have the pandemic, we wouldn't have dark shit in the dark.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Dude, it's thanks.
So if you think about it, it's kind of worth it. All the people who lost their lives.
They're kind of like Jesus. Yeah. They sacrificed themselves
to give birth to
let others
something better. Yeah.
Totally. My life's gotten so much better.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
He's part of it.
Definitely. So what kind of nerd shit do you got going on, Braden?
Not much, to be honest. Like I told you before, I've mainly been re-watching and replaying the old games that I've already had or shows that I've already seen. Told you that I started Futurama again.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's been great. I still get a laugh out of me every time.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's nice because it's been a while since I've watched an episode of Futurama.
So they kind of are fresh.
Yeah, they're kind of fresh again because like a lot of these episodes I've seen probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
Just with all the reruns that you catch on Comedy Central that we talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's mainly not a lot of new stuff. The only new thing I do have, which is I've only played it once with my buddy Dylan Orchid, friend of the show. That I played video games with a lot. We started playing Lethal Company.
Dylan.
Yeah, my other really, really great best friend.
Yes, yeah, your other friend.
Which, by the way, Dylan and I are thinking
your other buddy.
Are thinking of starting our own podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Cool Guys in the Light.
Why would you lie to people like that?
Well, it's not a lie, because we are cool guys, and we are going to mainly shoot it during the daytime.
No.
Probably right before I shoot this podcast during the nighttime, that we always shoot it during.
I think that's a bad idea.
No, I think it's a great idea.
I don't.
We already have merch ongoing. People are already walking around with Cool Guys in the Light t-shirts out.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like you.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to get stuff done for this show, and you're never fucking around.
Another friend of the show, to prioritize those shirts over our own.
Did you?
Yeah. But no, Dylan and I have been playing Lethal Company.
Dylan.
We've been having a fun time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, we've been having a great time.
Okay, what's this game about?
He plays video games with me. He's always available. He doesn't have, a child.
A made-up girlfriend.
Now that takes his attention from me. So
let's be honest, I play the same amount of video games with you now with the kid that I did when I didn't.
That's true. But Chase, ask me what Lethal Company is like.
What's Lethal Company like? Is it like Lethal Weapon mixed with Bad Company?
So you work for a company, and there is a possibility of losing your life in the game. Central premise is you're humans that have to scrap on old abandoned moons for scrap metal to make money. You work for a company that sends you to these places, but it doesn't really equip you well.
Like Ray Skywalker?
Yeah, you're exactly like Ray Skywalker, except you work for a company.
You're like Ray Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi.
Right.
Are you the granddaughter of the Emperor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they do say that
Go on.
in the game.
Like near the end.
Yeah, near
out of
the end.
nowhere.
Well, I haven't gotten to the end, but that's what I hear. But yeah, that's how you make money. You level up that way. Like you just keep playing missions again and again. Like each map is manually generated, and there's hazards and other aliens that you have to fight or figure out how to get past to do so. But it's one of those kind of addicting indie games that like you can just replay it over and over again in order to get better, like Phasmophobia,
Yeah.
It's not like an overarching...
You keep chucking at it.
Yeah, there's not an overarching story in Phasmophobia, but you just do it to get better shit, better equipment, to get better at it, like any good video game.
Like life? Kind of like going to work and doing this thing at work.
Right.
Like the game is based on.
Yeah. It's basically going to work, but you're in space.
That's how I want to spend my video game time, going to work.
Yeah.
But in space, being not Ray Skywalker, but granddaughter to the Emperor. That's cool.
I read an article recently of a company that wants to figure out how to lucid dream work so you can work in your dreams.
In the game or in life?
In life. That's a real thing that people are trying to do.
I bet, but I don't
know if there's going to be much support behind that. I don't think people want to work in their sleep.
I don't think... No, they don't.
Yeah.
They wish they could, but it's one of those things...
Yeah, you can work in your sleep, live during the day, your free time.
Mm-hmm.
But would you feel well rested if you wake up from having just work?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of that. That's fucked up. Could you imagine, like, you don't use this thing, but you're at work with somebody that's fucking asleep?
Right.
And it's just a fucking corpse walking around like a fucking puppet by Geppetto. Oh. I don't know. That would be fucking weird. Hey, Hank, could you pass me a roll of toilet paper? Hank. He wouldn't even do that because he's asleep and he's just programmed to shit if his body has to shit. I assume it would have to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like the science behind all that is never going to happen.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's actually going to happen.
Lifetime.
But it was something I did read recently. So it's true because it was from the internet.
Well, yeah, why would the internet lie?
Yeah. I know if we ever found the technology...
Yeah, I thought about it. I came up with it, actually. I came up with that idea in my sleep.
Yeah.
I'm the one that started it.
It's just like in Futurama when they put advertisements in their sleep.
Yes, exactly like that. I love that you're going through it. That's kind of what's fun about South Park in the dark, too, is like we're rewatching South Park, and it's just fun. Because I haven't gone back to old episodes in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched old South Park in a while.
It's good still. It catches quick. But check that. If you want to hear more about that, check out my other podcast that I do with the Swooty Swagster, South Park in the Dark, every Wednesday. Yeah. So that's just something you read.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, but that's barely been the only
nerd shit
that I've been doing. Rest of it's old nerd shit.
I should start looking into some articles and like bringing that, because that's nerd shit too. Bring
up some articles
and thoughts.
Yeah,
like
we all want to hear your articles, Chaz. So, do you have any new nerd shit in your life, Chaz?
I actually have a lot of new nerd shit that I thought I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I have multiple types. Let's kick it off with a book.
We rarely have books on nerd shit.
I know. And I work at a library, and I listen to books quite often.
Yeah.
But I don't ever feel the need to talk about them.
Well, let's hear it.
So I read this book. It is called Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing?
Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing.
It's it just came out this year. It's a start of a series, and it like exploded. And I started hearing about it, being that I work in the book business.
Right.
My boss actually she got it for the van and then recommended. She's like, it's the best book I've read in a while. It's my favorite book of the year. And I was just like, okay, my boss reads a lot of books.
Yeah. Pretty high praise.
That's a statement. It was like, it's about dragons. It's about like,
I love dragons.
So like, I know it's
Western or Eastern dragons?
It seems more Western dragons.
Okay.
I would, if I were to assume.
4 limbs and wings attached on the back?
Yes. Because one of the enemies that they fight are, I don't want to give any spoilers, so I won't, because that's kind of a spoiler.
As we all know,
yeah,
if they don't have 4 limbs and wings on them back, if they just have 2 wings that act as their front limbs and a back 2 legs, they're not dragons, they are wyverns.
You're getting ahead of the story.
Okay.
Yeah. That's part of it.
Right.
So that's in there, but I don't want, that's a big spoiler, actually, so I don't want to talk too much about that.
I already cracked the code.
Not the code, but
okay.
No, not so much that you mentioned one, but it's like you have to read the book to get what I'll explain it.
Yeah, so dragons.
So dragons. And I started reading it. It's very it's dark. It's definitely like R-rated, Game of Thrones level type of material.
Yeah.
I would say though it's like a combination of like Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones-ish. Because, like...
How so?
So the premise is that the main character, she lives in this world, basically, where their borders are guarded by dragon riders, people that make bonds with, like, dragons. And
like the Githyanki and Baldur's Gate.
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
Except, like, way more importantly based around the dragons.
Like, the dragons are the top.
The dragons... Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. So,
I like that better.
There's, like, this academy that they have to go to become dragon riders, basically. So the whole first book is this girl's first year at this academy that she didn't even want to go to, but her mother is like the fucking leader of the government, or like of this like the dragon riders, essentially.
Right.
Not like the leader, but a very top brass,
high ranking.
And so she forces her to join this, and she's kind of like a frail, like, not, she has a sister that's like really like high up rank too, and like, a fighter, and a brother that like died in an earlier war in the lore of this series, because there are these other characters that, like, they're the children of this old rebellion that took place in the world, and, like, they killed these children's parents and forced them to join this dragon academy to, like, become soldiers and shit.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I haven't, like, took to something quite like this in a while. So you start with all these characters, but, like, the dragons are fucking hardcore. They're not, like, friendly. Like, so the dragon has to kind of choose you. You can go through this whole school year that's, like, full of, like, trials and tribulations. Lots of characters are dying left and right. It's a very, like, in your face,
one of those, like,
characters will die.
Harry Potter, but meets Squid Game.
Sure, yeah. So, like, characters can die. So you're always on the edge, because you're like, this does mean business. Like, whatever happens. Dragons are kind of, like, they have to choose you, so if they don't choose you, sometimes they will just fucking kill you. There's a couple characters that just get straight up lit on fire that you've gone to know through, like, the first third of the book. Because it takes a while till the main character gets her dragon. And
so she does get a dragon.
She eventually gets a dragon.
Is her dragon cool?
I don't want to go too much. I just feel like there's so many spoilers.
But is it cool?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely
that's all
cool.
You need to say.
Definitely cool dragon. Absolutely. And they share, like, a mental link.
Like a telepathic
So, like,
bond.
the dragons have
a la
text.
Aragon?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
A la that. So...
Not Aragorn, sure.
So that's part of it. But it's also a hint of also a mix of... I guess it's more Twilight than Hunger Games meets...
Is there a love triangle?
There's a love situation. So essentially
situation.
What I want to get at is, even though I really love this book, and I got the second book, I've started the second book, I'm totally into the series, there's a big issue I have with it. And that is, I also feel like I got tricked into reading a romance novel.
And you, as a manly man, hate romance novels.
They're not what I want to read at all.
I don't mind.
And it's through the perspective of a girl, so, like...
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god. But
Goodies.
No, it's not so much that. It's just I already don't care what I'm reading about. Like, I wouldn't want to read it like, eventually, like, okay. So the main character, I like her, but, like, any chance she has, she is, like, gawking over this one character for how sexy he is. Every fucking chance, and it's slowly building up their relationship with them.
I can see how that would be annoying.
It's all the time. So that's, like, in your face a lot. That's where it's kind of like Hunger Games Twilight. But then there was a literal chapter where she has sex, and you just have to hear about it. I'm just like, I need to
go into detail.
So
it's like, yeah,
Game and it's almost too much. It's too much. And I was, like, teetering. I was like, this is getting to the point where this is so annoying that I kind of want to put this book down. But when it got back to being good, I was like, it's too fucking good to stop.
See, I can understand that. I can understand that gripe, because I don't mind romance inserted into other stories and stuff.
I don't mind
like
it.
Oftentimes,
it's just all the time.
But it's like It's most effective when it's used very sparingly.
It's not sparingly at all.
Yeah, because at that point it becomes like if it's gratuitous, it becomes annoying and not that exciting. But I feel like if you limit the number of scenes that are actually romance scenes, it makes those scenes a lot more effective.
Well, it does shorten the book quite a bit because it's like a big part of that's the thing. It's so prominent that I'd say it's like a third of this book is based around like that.
Like you have to like describe it as a romance /
I can't. All this other author writes is just romance novels, and then she took to a fantasy series.
Okay, so this is like her branching out.
They're cool as shit books. I'm going to show you them. I'm going to show you them at some point. They're just in the other room.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Beautiful looking books.
I've been looking for a new book series.
I totally recommend it, dude. I could not put this book down. The plot, when it's good, it's so good because you're always on the edge. And there's twists. There's things you find out. That's why I don't want to get too much into I don't even want to talk about the wyvern shit. I might even cut this because it's like, that's a big twist later in the book.
Sorry, I ruined the spoiler with my intense knowledge of
it's not even so. You didn't ruin it. I'm ruining it by saying that it's a big. Like if I just didn't say anything, but I couldn't not because like I almost was like, ooh, you have to read it. But I'm working my way through the second book, despite the shit I don't really care for. And there's a twist at the end that's just so like, fuck. It was good. I was very pleased.
Red wedding twist in Game of Thrones?
I don't know if I'd ever say anything is better than that, but that's a high bar, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere near that, but high bar.
Definitely got me interested.
But I wouldn't be, this is also a series that I wouldn't be surprised if something like the Red Wedding were to happen.
Yeah.
And I'd almost be sadder for it because they seem younger.
So you would say, so it's a romance, but it's not like YA level romance. Like this is certainly for adults.
It's certainly a book for adults, but the romance portions of it almost make it feel YA because it's too much.
Yeah.
But despite that, I enjoyed this book.
What's it called again?
Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing. By who?
The author's name is actually Rebecca Yarros.
Wait, Rebecca Yarros?
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
And I just cast that spell that I have that I summon these two books here for us to look at.
That's awesome that you can do that.
Yeah. Don't you think it's a cool looking book, though? That shiny gold.
No, that definitely looks like a book I would pick up if I saw it in Barnes & Nobles.
Basically, the look of it.
The times that you've taken me to Barnes & Nobles.
Yeah.
Fun fact about our relationship. Every time we travel somewhere, Chase always brings me to a Barnes & Noble. And we have to walk around for a bit.
We get books though too. Sometimes I do at least. Sometimes you might. Yeah, I like it. It's probably my favorite store.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a great store, Barnes & Noble. Shout out to Barnes & Noble.
Shout out Barnes & Noble. I didn't buy either of these books there, but shout out. I would have.
You feel like sponsoring us?
We're here for you. We'll talk about you more.
Yeah.
This is the second one. Iron Flame, Black Pages. As soon as I get back to work, I'm fucking plowing through that book.
So you haven't read that Iron Flame yet?
No,
that's the second book
just
of the
started
series?
it. It's the second one in the series. Just came out like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, so this is a new series.
This is a new series. There's supposed to be 5, but there's only 2 because the first one came out in April. This one came out in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Check it out.
How long is the first book?
498 pages.
That is incredibly doable.
Incredibly doable. I plowed through it. How about it, babe? It's the first book. Braden, I don't remember last time I sat on my couch and read a book on a Saturday night. Could not tell you. Probably one of the Harry Potters when it came out.
I want to go back to those reading days where I was super into reading because when I'm into reading, I'm into reading.
This book made me do that.
Yeah.
This book made me do that. So that is one of my new nerd shit things.
Well, awesome.
That book series.
And you mentioned that you had multiple new nerd shit
I do have a few. So next I'm going to move on to a shorter one, because I think I can get through it quicker and it's shorter. I recently started a new video game. It's called Dragons Dogma.
I have played Dragon's Dogma before.
Yeah, something...
Big dragon phase you're going through right now.
Maybe just a little.
They're my favorite mythical creature.
They're my favorite mythical creature, yeah.
So, that's another thing we have in common.
Yeah, another thing. Yeah.
What do you think of Dragon's Dogma? Do you like to climb on all the bosses?
I do like to climb. So I'm not super far. I only started it either 2 nights ago or yesterday during the day. But I heard so much about the sequel coming out. People are already saying that this game could be the game of the year next year already. It's coming out in March. So I was like, I've seen it on the Nintendo shop for like $5 before. I went and checked it out. It's on sale for $5. I was like, let's fucking go. Let's see what this...
pretty good.
$5 for a game that's like this? I'll take it. It's from
When
2000.
I can't remember when it came out.
Came out in 2013 on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
That sounds about right because
it plays on the Switch.
Teenager when I played it
beautifully. Yeah, dude, I do like climbing. I like the concept of like climbing on the big bosses to strike certain parts of their bodies to kill them quicker. That's a cool thing. I like that
mechanic. You don't see that a lot.
You don't see it because it's essentially this game is a behind the back, hack and slash RPG a la Skyrim.
Right.
But it adds an element of like you can climb on your opponents and like attack them that
Makes
way.
It more epic.
It
Especially
does.
because like the big enemies that you fight are all like titans.
Yes,
essentially.
Yeah. And like even the little things that you do fight just on the ground in between, they're pretty challenging. I'm not super far in the game, and I was like,
that's why I would say.
And the combat is fun to do. You got the shield. So I went with a shield and sword. You have the choice between a mage or like a bow and.
I never played
dagger.
through much of it. I did play it for a while, but I never got super far. I almost wish I discovered that game later on in life when I was like better at playing video games
of this kind.
Because this is like a challenging
it's an open
game.
world big game, a Western RPG essentially.
Right. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. But it's a big game. There's a lot to do.
You should. I think it's on sale on Switch for another couple of days. You should snag it on your Switch and try it again.
I definitely
be doing it portably is also like I think of being like sitting on my Xbox 360 in front of a TV. Like have to Switch. You can take it places. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it at work.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be better on the Switch. Which I need to get. I've been recently wanting to get back into playing on my Switch because I haven't played it in months.
Yeah. You just got to find the right game.
I was in a big Switch phase.
The Monster Hunter there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dig it.
You still need to play Monster Hunter.
Yeah, dude. I still got it on my Switch. I love that game.
Yeah, it's great.
I like the concept of like, basically the game starts with like a dragon takes your character's heart.
Yeah.
And it makes you this Arisen type of being.
Oh, Rizzler.
A Rizzler, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you're I guess a living zombie, but the goal is to find this dragon, kill it, and get your heart back.
Kind of like Dark Souls, where like you're like an undead, basically.
Yeah. So and here I am, just out roaming the world, fighting bandits, killing wolves, fighting fucking cyclopses, and
like a big snake.
Cerberuses, and there was a big snake whose head I had to crawl up and cut the head off. And I'm very early on, and I'm having this much fun. So I'm really looking forward to storming and seeing just what this game that people already think the sequel is going to be. Like the look out for RPG of next year. So like I'm see how it goes. I like that you have the companions that follow you around. Like you can summon them.
Like what you because you get to create your own companion.
You do get to create your own companion.
I forget what they're called.
Yeah,
special
something. Yeah,
they like follow you around because you're Arisen.
Yes, yeah, and because you are that, you can summon them from the stone and they can help you out. Like I'm my guy, sword and shield, but I've got 2 mages with me.
Yeah,
I'll probably get a crossbow and a dagger. And later on, I know you can like start to mix different classes, so I'm looking forward to that. But the thing I think is, I hate what those people say. Like the people that follow you around, they just shout nonsense the whole time, like stupid things. Well, like I can't tell you how many times the guy's just like, the wolves, they're weak to fire. Use my fire. There's another. Like they just shout the dumbest shit, and I'm like, oh my god, I just started. I love them. They're very helpful.
Yeah,
they say some dumb shit.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. They're basically like robots. They're not like real people.
Yeah. Like, yeah. No, you're right, but it's just tone it down just a little. Don't make them say so much.
Record more lines.
Or record more lines.
Say other things.
Just less weird things. Because some of them are just, it's just weird the way they say them.
It's almost like I'd prefer you to not talk at all.
Right. But yeah, that's a NOS recommendation game, and I just checked it out. And
NOS has great recommendations.
It sure does. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through that. I hope maybe in the next episode I'll have more to say about it, but totally recommend it, especially for $5 on the Switch. It's a regularly $30. I'm sure it was a $60 game when it came out on the 360. Like it's a full game. $5. Fuck.
Just steal.
So I stole it from Nintendo. I'm playing on an emulator on my computer. No, I'm not. I bought it on the Switch store. So that's my video game that I'm playing.
Well, it's great. So you got a video game.
Yep. I got a book, video game.
Do you have anything else?
I got a TV show.
And a TV show.
And a TV show, Braden.
Let's hear it.
Not a whole show. It's not done yet. But we are watching the Monarch Legacy of Monsters show on Apple TV. Have you heard of this? It's like the Godzilla, that movie series.
Yeah.
That they're doing in America.
I've
with
been hearing
Kong.
stuff about Godzilla and stuff.
Yeah, well, there's a new Godzilla Kong movie coming out in April, but this is a series based in that world.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good. It's pretty damn fucking good. That's a pretty damn fucking good recommendation.
What's it on?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. That's probably why I haven't seen it
Yeah.
or heard about it.
My mom got a free trial, and we're trying to watch, because there's a lot of good shows on Apple TV. A lot of good shows.
What's the budget like?
Astounding. These monsters look fucking awesome.
It's good because you need the monsters.
Apple has the money.
monster
Their
universe.
TV shows, I don't know if you watched a lot of Apple TV shows. They're using that Steve Jobs money.
Yeah.
Because it looks...
Goes to Steve Jobs' guide in these projects.
Dude, it looks like you're watching a movie. It looks like you're just watching little movies. And this Monarch show, I've been looking forward to it for a while. I heard about it a little while back. The lore that they're crafting with it, with this whole world, what I call the second most successful shared universe.
Oh, it's definitely. I would definitely agree with that.
And
I'm glad that
especially
it's
with
still,
a show like this.
So that it's still going strong. Like, it was never like really in peril, I guess, but it's. I guess we're spoiled by how much MCU releases.
Your
content,
expectations are a little lower with a Godzilla film to make that kind of a series. You're like, well, it's Godzilla. I didn't expect Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's still next to Marvel. It's the most enduring shared universe.
For
like,
sure.
It definitely outlasts.
Only
DC.
getting better when they throw a TV show on Apple TV over it.
Yeah, because that's one of the universes where we definitely need way more content for.
The premise of this show is you're following two different timelines. You're in 2015, so it takes place a year after Godzilla 20, like the first Godzilla movie. So it's before King of the Monsters, before Kong and all that shit. At least Kong and Godzilla. Kong Skull Island happened in the 70s. But it flops to the 1950s as well. So you're watching the creation of Monarch through like the eyes of certain characters, and then one of the characters, it's Kurt Russell and his son, and Kurt Russell plays the older version. His son plays.
I heard about this. Yeah,
he plays him in the past, and Kurt Russell plays him in the 2015, so the present of the show. And it's fun how they've crafted this story, because you kind of see like it shows you what time. It gives you dates a lot because it's jumping around. But like at the end of the first episode, you watch something that took place between these three characters that are going on in the 50s. In 1959, and you kind of see how things go really, really bad for them. But then it like hops back in the next episode to how they all met, and like you're building on that.
Right.
All while it's like they're making Monarch, and like now we're in a world where like Monarch is out there, and they're almost villainized in the show. It's very strange.
I always got the sense that they were kind of the villains in the movies as well.
I don't know. They seem like they've pushed them to be more good guys than not in this show though.
Right.
They're like trying to hide files from them right now. It's weird.
I guess
but
it's
it's
just
so good.
It's a government agency that has to deal with a lot of super secret Titan shit.
Monster shit. Yeah. So that's really because you see like how Monarch was invented by Kurt Russell's son, younger Kurt Russell, and his, trio, and how they started seeking out monsters and how they like found Godzilla essentially. You're seeing all that while it flops to like the present storyline talking about post-Godzilla has attacked San Francisco, and there's a whole crazy mystery storyline going on with that, and it all ties back and forth, and then in the midst of this you get monster shit.
So do they show Godzilla in the present and the past, or do you not show Godzilla?
So they show clips. I know it's sparingly, but like there are clips from like the 2014 perspective of one of the characters as she watches that attack. So that's all technically new Godzilla footage. It's just based in a movie we've already seen. And then, so that was in the modern time. And then you do see Godzilla, like their first actual sighting, the government in 1950, like of Godzilla. So that's happened by now. There's only 4 episodes out.
That'd be a cool scene.
It was pretty cool. Only one thing would have made it cooler. But I'm not going to spoil that. It was still cool, but one thing would have made it a lot cooler. But, and it's in the daytime, too. So it's broad daylight Godzilla.
Right.
Just good to see. But you're also getting other monsters mixed. Like, most episodes end kind of with, like, a big, expect a big monster moment, at least by the end. Or sprinkled in between. The latest episode, that fucking one thing was chasing them around the whole episode. So you're just seeing new monsters. You're seeing... But it's not about... Like, the main characters are trying to solve, like, a personal type of business. in the midst of, well, that leads us into monsters.
Right.
Like, there's no way around this. The monster people are after us. We're going to places where the monsters are. It's cool. It's a really good... It's probably, like, the best... leaps and bounds story better than, like, the movies. They're Godzilla movies. They're King Kong movie.
It's hard.
You don't need a good plot.
It's easy to
this show
shut
has
them
that.
up, but as long as you have these two monsters fight each other, it's hard to go wrong there.
So this has like a really good story around. Also, you're gonna get to see a monster do something cool at some point.
Well, that's good. Maybe I'll pirate it.
There you go. You fucking. You're my gun guy on the ship.
Yeah.
You'll cannon their ship.
Yeah,
Hop in.
You make it sound like the cannon's like in Gatling gun.
It's like a cannon.
Yeah.
I just think you're that fast with the cannonballs that you can shoot them.
Just like shoot them in.
Your old quick hands Neilster, they used to call you.
That is what they used to call me.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Pirate it. Watch it legally. I don't care. Just watch it. It's good. It's 4 episodes in. I think there's supposed to be 8 or 9. Something before the new Godzilla Kong movie comes out. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to end, but I've seen enough of it that I know I'm stoked to be watching it. Because I'm a huge Godzilla nerd. Godzilla nerd.
I remember when Godzilla vs. Kong came out, we
shot this.
Picking sides.
Yeah, you picked that fucking monkey.
Yeah.
Dobby fuck. I don't mean that. Yeah,
he helped in the end.
He helped in the end, but he got his ass. He lost the fight. He
unequivocally lost.
That's why I love that movie. Like, I was so happy.
To be fair, I knew his odds weren't great.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah.
The fact that even I was worried the whole movie that he was going to lose that fight, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous thing to be worried about. There's no way in fucking hell King Kong would be goddamn Zilla. He shoots fucking nuclear rays out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Monkey. Okay. So, but I'm glad they're pals. Like, I'm glad in the next movie they are just teaming up.
They're buddies now, yeah.
When they fight Mecha Godzilla... whatever. When they fight Mecha Godzilla... So fucking... Like, the stuff of my dreams. So seeing more of that world, and seeing a really interesting story around it, with it had to be good for Apple to give them this much money, because I'm telling you, these monsters, movie quality,
just wish,
if not better.
Just sucks that I would subscribe to Apple TV to actually see it.
People have it's got pretty high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and audience. Like, people are watching it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll have to give it a shot.
Give it a shot. One other show I want to talk about before we get into our Step Up movie marathon is we watched the 60th anniversary special of Doctor Who.
We sure did.
I actually watched the second special before you came over today. So I'll talk a little bit about that, but I do want to just talk about the first one and kind of our thoughts as Doctor Who fans and what the 60th anniversary is kind of about. Right. So those who don't know, Doctor Who is a series about a time-traveling...
Time Lord
man that, like, they solve mysteries through time, and he always has a companion, and all sorts of...
It's famous for, like, low-budget, high sci-fi, essentially, where, like, you know, they're not working off of a lot of money, but they manage to do a lot with what they have.
Yeah. And honestly, nowadays, it's like the budget's actually pretty good, so the episodes do look solid. So the new episode kind of returned an old actor that played two old actors from, like, early season.
A while
ago. Third season. This is the 15th season that they're about to go into. But they brought two of the original actors back for this special, and it was pretty awesome to see. I had a really good time.
They picked right off where they left off.
I was saying that today when we were watching the newest special, was just like, I could just watch. I think they made a good choice picking David Tennant's Doctor and Donna Noble to be the people they bring back for this. Because, like, though I like Rose Tyler as the companion more, I don't think she was the right pick of companion to bring for these stories. I think the Doctor and the Donna dynamic is just so good. And, like, these two actors, they had, you know, they worked together for a couple years. They know each other.
They have great chemistry.
Their chemistry comes back immediately.
That was one of the main things I thought looking through this. Of, like, it's like they never left, where they were immediately back into their roles. And the actress for Donna, I don't know her name. She's also in The Office, but she killed it. She was really giving it her 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, it's like 15 years hadn't passed.
Yeah,
because that's how much time has been between that season and this. And like that continues on. The next episode, the next special, it's literally just them the whole episode. They're the only 2 actors in the whole episode, so it's up to them entirely to sell it, and they absolutely do. And those are some of my favorite episodes of of Doctor Who. There's one where it's just him when he was Peter Capaldi. Fucking loved it. I was like, when just one actor has to like entertain you for an hour.
Yeah, well, because it's a show that like thrives on its limitations because it doesn't have the budget to like do something crazy all the time. So they do have to have episodes where it's like just 1 or 2 actors.
Yeah,
and like it's just based off of how good of an actor they are, like how much they can sell it.
Yeah,
and that's what they've always excelled at, is like the individual performances on the show.
Yeah, and bringing these guys back just sold it entirely. I'm loving it, and
yeah, because
one more special with them left.
It's David Tennant, who is one of, if not the best doctors, depending on who you ask. And he kills it. It's like he never left. You can tell like this is, like his definitive role.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
He can do other things, but this is like what he's at home at.
And dude, I'm telling you, got to watch the second one. Like he just exemplifies that even more.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to see him back, and it's so like we've been trucking through the latest couple seasons of of Doctor Who, and like it's not as good as it used to be.
That's what I hear.
Not that I hate the girl that plays the Doctor and all of them. I like the characters a lot still. It's just the plots were just like it became work for us to get through. Putting that special on last week, I was having fun again with Doctor Who. It feels good.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about the plot?
Sure.
Of the special?
I think the first special's plot was pretty, classic Doctor Who, but like there's an alien that we get introduced to as like a good alien that actually turns out to be the bad alien.
Everything kind of happens fast paced. Like David Tennant shows up. He's not sure why he's David Tennant again. He meets Donna Noble like a minute after that. Not sure why he's meeting her. Lands, He panics. Then the alien shows up, and it kind of cascades from there.
Yeah, and it was. I found out later that it was based on like somebody wrote a comic in the 80s that was like the plot of this, basically. A little different, but it was like Doctor Who, but not Donna, but not David Tennant, but like that alien, those grasshopper things. So we found out that they weren't actually based on Bugs Life grasshoppers, because they looked exactly the way they did in this comic that came out in the 80s. So like
they look so much like Bugs Life
from
grasshoppers
that for this. So I really like that.
Yeah, like the main aliens that come to find the alien that crash landed on Earth look like the Bugs Life grasshoppers.
They really do.
And they fly like them.
Yeah.
Have kind of the same demeanor.
We really thought they stole them from it, but no, it was in a comic. It happened to be a coincidence. So that was neat. Yeah, and like in season 3, when Donna Noble is, or 4, when she's off the show, when she's written off the show, she has to forget everything. Otherwise, she'll die. There's a whole storyline behind that. And they kind of solve how she's able to remember everything. And everything in a good way. Like, all the answers that take place. Because sometimes anymore, Doctor Who, like, you just kind of go, sure, that's what happens.
Who cares?
This one ended in a way that made you go, yeah,
all
of that makes sense. That works. Everything checks out.
And how did she solve it? Do you remember?
It was due to the fact that the energy that was in her was too much for one person to handle, is why she had to forget. And so what he didn't count for, the doctor, was Donna gave birth to a child. And by giving birth to that child, it split that energy in half.
And I think that's kind of referring to like, she has like a Time Lord mind or something. Like she like absorbed the energy from a Time Lord, which it's well-known show lore that Time Lords have 2 hearts. And so when she had a child, she kind of like split that energy between their 2 hearts like a Time Lord and managed to... But the child also gets like that power of like knowledge of how to do...
And the child kind of grows up as a transgender.
Yeah.
Because the doctor is not really gendered.
Right.
And they kind of play with that in a fun way.
I guess you could call the doctor like gender fluid.
Sure, yeah.
Or like they don't really subscribe to like one thing, because like the doctor can be anything essentially.
Yeah. There's something that happens in the beginning of the next one where they it's real quick. They see I almost said Galileo. Who's the fucker that invents gravity? Or not, comes up with Yeah, so they run into Sir Isaac Newton real quick, just at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they make a gravity joke, and it's funny. But then later, Donna and the doctor are talking about him, and Donna's like, Isaac Newton was hot. And the doctor's like, he was hot. And then he's like, I say things like that now? So it's like, oh, he's...
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was just a woman for a few years there, so
right.
I'm sure...
Straight woman, apparently.
Yeah, so, I mean, whatever. I think back in the early, like when they first brought it back for the season 1 of the Christopher Eccleston stuff, I think it was also... They were more adamant about him being, like, going both ways.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, and
so they play with that.
I mean, if you have, like, a character like Jack Harkness, who's, like, canonically polyamorous.
Correct, yeah.
And polysexual, or whatever it means. Like, he will have sex with anything, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care if you're gay, straight, trans,
any
gender
species
fluid,
of alien.
any species of alien, he will have sex with you. So they've always been kind of progressive on that front with sexuality. So, like, yeah. So I didn't mind the way that the transgender daughter character was written. But
right.
But I did not think
you were turned off by her acting pretty quick.
Very quickly, I did not like her acting at all.
Before I even knew to judge it, you were like, "Who, this actress?"
I was like, "This actress isn't great," and I still stand by that. I do not think she was a great actress.
She's very flat,
very boring to watch.
She's just there because she kind of needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the entire episode,
Rose.
She's thrown into situations that are life-threatening and traumatic and exciting. And the most emotion she can ever give us is like, oh no. Like,
yeah.
Like, essentially just like, does not seem like she really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Or is really reacting to anything that's happening around her. Like, there's a point where like someone very close to her is going to die. And she's just like, no, you can't. Like,
that's my mom.
Yeah, that's my mom. No.
Don't do it.
Like,
yeah.
So underwhelming with like, you, like, if we're going to spend time with you, you need to kind of sell it a little bit. Like, be interesting to watch.
And luckily you don't spend too much time with her.
There was a fun, like, you probably remember this, but there was a point where I was scared that, like, oh no, she's going to be like one of the main characters in this, and like we're going to spend a lot of time with her, and she's not a good actress.
She's not in the second one at all.
Yeah, but luckily, like, she's actually not in the first one too much to where it's like ruins, like it like sinks the show, because it's very much like David Tennant and Donna Noble are, I don't know her actress's name, Donna Noble, but Catherine Tate are still the main focus of the first episode.
Yeah.
And then apparently the main focus of the second episode.
They're the only two actors in the whole next one other than the quick bit with Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah. And that is smart because those are the only two actors that I care to see a performance from.
Yeah.
Besides,
they kill it.
And they kill
Once
it.
again.
Besides, I do want to see Wilf again.
He shows up at the end of the second one.
Okay, good. Yeah. I figured he would because they referenced him.
So I guess he does show. There are people that show up at the like very end.
Yeah,
of it.
They made clear that he wasn't dead,
even though the actor died.
Did he?
Yeah, like last year.
Oh,
luckily they got these filmed on time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I dug it, especially because we've been burning through Doctor Who. I know there's been previous episodes of this where I talk about my Doctor Who journey, and yeah, I mean we kind of hit a snag with the Jodie Whittaker seasons, but we do still plan on finishing that. Because there's a big story point in the newest episode that kind of talks about shit from those seasons, and I was like, ooh, I don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
So we'll have to catch up. But it feels good, because I really love this show. And it's hard when a show it's so good for so long, and then all of a sudden, you kind of start to watch it, the storyline dip. Like I said, you start kind of just being like, sure, we'll go with that.
Well, and I did want to mention, like, when we were watching this, like, Doctor Who is one of those shows where, like, the writing quality does have peaks and dips throughout the seasons, depending on who's writing it. And in this one, I was scared it was going to be one of those dips where, like, things just happened, they didn't make a ton of sense, and you just kind of accepted it of, like, yeah, sure, like, whatever that happened. But in this one, they did have moments like that, but they took the time to explain it later that, like, no, you were supposed to think that way because this is actually what's happening. Like, there are several moments where you're like, oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would those characters act that way? But it's explained later and it makes sense. And yeah, like, it's just, like, that's a sign of good writing where, like, you know, you're eager to point out plot holes, but then when they explain, like, they anticipated that you're going to point out those plot holes and are like, no, this is actually why that is. And it makes sense to the story. Like,
whereas a lot of times with a recent Doctor Who has just been like, just get to the end.
Yeah, just go along with it. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah. They got the Russell T Davies as the guy that did the first 4 seasons, so which to me are the best 4 seasons.
Yeah, he's one of the best writers.
So glad to have him back, and he's back for the, I think, 3 seasons of the next Doctor. So
good. They'll probably be good.
Thank God.
Yeah, adults in the room.
Yeah, feels good. So that's all I really wanted to say real quick about Doctor Who before we hopped into watching these Step Up movies. So
I can't wait to watch these Step Up movies. They're gonna be good. I'm really chomping my bits for it.
My bits are chomp.
Yeah.
It's dance time. Dance time. Yeah.
They don't sing in it though.
They don't. It's not a sing. Yeah, it's not really a sing. We're gonna. Okay, so as the title, I'm sure, of this podcast says, this is a very special episode because me and Braden are finishing up our year plan that we made at New Year's last year to watch all of the Step Up movies.
Hell yeah. My favorite movie series of all time.
Braden's favorite movie series of all time. We've already watched the first and second movies, and now I will be watching the third and fourth.
And one of them was good.
I liked both.
Yeah.
I liked both. 1 and 2.
Right.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah, I actually can't say anything because
You've never seen the first one. Of your favorite movie series, you haven't seen the first one. But, you know, I think we're going to have a fun time here watching them tonight. So Braden and I are kind of going to do the same thing like we did for the Halloween. We're going to jump off. We're going to watch one of the movies. We're going to come back. We're going to watch another one of them. And we're going to come back and talk about it.
Talk about each time.
So you guys sit tight. I'll play a little groovy music in the meantime. And we'll...
To the duration of... We don't stop the recording. We just...
Yeah, I just put this up. It's like 5 fucking hours long on Spotify.
Music, yeah.
Oh my God. We lose everybody. I just watched the subscriber count go down. Fuck. It was supposed to be funny.
But yeah, we'll see you guys later.
We'll see you guys in a little bit. Toddles. All right, we have just wrapped up Step Up 3D.
We sure did.
Is there anything more to the name of that? It's just Step Up 3D. There's no like...
Step Up 3D or Step Up 3D.
Step Up 3D.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's any taglines to it.
Okay, cool.
So, this is the third Step Up movie you've seen.
Yes.
Yep. How would you rank it compared to the first 2?
Huh. That is an interesting question.
Did you like it better than...
One that I should have been more prepared for.
The second movie?
I don't know. I think it's my third favorite.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite.
Your least favorite
of the 3. It's got it's its own. It's very unique. It's definitely its own. They're building their universe.
They try to do different things.
They go
in this one.
hard in this one, and I like the direction they go. It's cheesy as fuck, but it works.
Yeah, it's a very cheesy movie. Which, to be fair, they all are.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
Past 2, well, 2 is pretty cheesy, but past 2, they really ramp up the cheesiness.
Yeah, and I think that makes it be a less... I still had, I enjoyed it, but, it was pretty shallow. The dancing was probably the best the dancing's ever been, perhaps, but...
So yeah, that was going to be another one of my things, is that I feel like the way you rank step-up movies by their quality is on 3 factors. First is the dance, obviously. How good is the dancing? Second is the story, so the filler in between to the dancing. Third is the soundtrack. What kind of songs are coupled with the dancing?
Okay.
So out of those 3 factors, how would you rank it? Dancing, story, and soundtrack. So
the story is the weakest. For sure.
For sure. And I would agree with that.
I'll give you a few reasons why. One of the main ones are the plot line that I really gave a shit about. In fact, the only one I gave a shit about only was due to the fact that, one, Moose was a character from another movie, so I knew him.
Yep, he was a legacy character.
Had that just been a new character for the movie, I don't think I would have gave two flying fucks about him or Allison Stoner. And then It's also Allison Stoner. I just feel like I know her.
Right.
So that kind of gave me a connection. I was connected to them through means that weren't due to the movie.
So people who may be unfamiliar with the Step Up series and may not have seen our last episode on the Step Up, Moose was a side character in the second Step Up movie. He's like a skinny, good...
And I liked him.
Curly-haired
as a side character, he won me over in that one.
And he's one of the best dancers. And yeah, he's one of the most popular side characters.
He's like a chameleon dancer, honestly.
And he's basically one of the main characters of this story, but we talked about it before of how the movie almost chickened out on making him the full lead of this movie because he's kind of a secondary lead to the vanilla white guy, Luke, that they put as the main lead, who's like a very conventionally attractive person, whereas Moose is, a skinny, curly-haired guy.
Yeah,
nerd.
Looks like the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he does look like the kid from Stranger Things. But Moose is the unequivocally the better character.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Like him way more.
Yeah. He's way more endearing, way more fun to watch.
Yep.
Compared to the romantic lead. And I feel like that's the biggest weakness of this movie is that the leads that they tried to sell us, the romantic leads, were very boring.
Totally. Like, I just did not... It was like the part of the movie that when it went to that part, you were always mad and just wanting to go to the other plot lines.
Right.
And they were the main.
Yeah. I mean, multiple times throughout the movie, I kept saying, what is their name? Can you tell me what these characters' names are?
Didn't know it.
Because we don't care.
Didn't know the main female's name till literally...
the last minute.
It's the last, couple minutes because she writes a letter, and at the end of the letter, it says, Natalie.
Yeah.
And it was like, that could have been... Probably wasn't the first time we've heard it, but forgot it. But easily forgettable.
Yeah, they rarely say each other's names. They do not have any distinguishable features besides being attractive and being good dancers, which everyone in this movie is a good dancer, so that doesn't mean a lot.
But because almost none of them are attractive, they kind of stand out.
Yeah, and that's why they're thrust into the main romantic lead roles, because it's like these are two conventionally attractive people who are also good dancers, so it fits with the movie. So we're going to follow them mainly, and Moose and Allison Stoner are going to be the side story with this, even though they're a way more compelling relationship than What's-Her-Face and What's-His-Face.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't remember Allison Stoner's name in the movie either.
I don't know her name either. Yeah. It's Camille, actually.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got it.
Because he said some kind of nickname for her.
I call her Allison Stoner all the time.
Yeah. Because, that is Allison Stoner. That's another thing. Allison Stoner, we're also endeared to her because we know her from other things.
That's what I said, yeah.
I don't think any of these... I don't think the two romantic leads are in anything else popular. Besides, you said the one girl, she might have been in CSI.
Yeah.
Which I don't watch.
Yeah. So, she's at least doing something, I guess. But
The other guy, no clue what he's up to.
Could be anywhere. He could literally be just somebody you see at Walmart.
Honestly.
But because he's surrounded by freaks that are
he
in this movie, he stands out. Yeah.
He's a bit of a perv as well.
He's a little bit of a freak. He films her at the beginning of the movie.
He's a filmographer. I guess that's another thing we know about her is he likes to film things.
People dancing,
Particularly. He does not ask for their consent to film them when they dance.
No, follows them throughout the night. Gets right up to them with his camera as
gets
they
real
dance.
Personal with it. So he was a little bit of a weirdo.
But girls like that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess another thing I didn't like about him is that, neither of them had, if you could tell, with the side characters, they all kind of have their unique dance style, where, that's how they dance. They all have, group choreography that they all follow and stuff, but each one of them has, their own specialty, kind of. There's the robot dude that we talked about. There's this movie introduced the twin characters, these twin. Were they Brazilian or something? I don't know.
Something. They were something.
They had accents, but I could not I cannot tell where they're supposed to be from, and they don't say. But they're pretty good dancers, and their whole thing is they're twins, and so they copy each other's moves and will dance off of each other. So that's pretty cool. Moose has his own unique style where he's kind of like, rubbery in his movements. And
he's talented. That dude can dance.
Moose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Always a treat when he's on the screen. When the dancing is going on, I was pretty into it. That's what they're going for with these things is, like I said, it's like anime.
Right.
And these are the battle scenes.
They have to nail the dancing
dance.
first in these movies. Everything else comes on the back burner. If there's 100%. Not good dance, why even make the movie?
Yeah.
Which I think they did nail it. And like this one has some great dance scenes.
It probably has the best dance scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite dance scene in this movie?
That is a good question. Man, they were all so good.
None of them were bad.
I like the one where they were at the Japanese sumo wrestling arena.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And that's kind of
that was something. This movie is very anime meets the dance. Like, it's this type of film that takes a thing, a hobby, and makes it the main way of life for these people.
The main focus.
And they go to some crazy arenas to do their dances, like the samurai place.
Yeah, and it makes like the world of dance seem a lot cooler and darker than what it probably actually is in real life. Like, I'm sure there's dance rivalries and stuff, but in this, it makes it seem like there's literal dance gangs. And instead of
boombox jacket.
Yeah, and there's a scene where Moose, one of the main characters, gets ambushed in a dance-off.
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom when he's taking a piss.
His dick is out.
A guy...
Full torque.
His dick is out full torque. A guy walks into the bathroom with speakers on his jacket. He's wearing a jacket, and his jacket has speakers in it, and he presses a button, and music starts playing through the speakers.
And I'll tell you what, if Luke was there for that part, he would have been full torque as well.
As well. And people are busting out of the stalls. They're all dancing on the sinks. And they're like, Moose tries to leave, and they're like, no, you have to stay here and dance us. And he manages to dance escape from the situation. Like, he dances out
parkours.
Like he parkour dances out of the situation.
People in this movie do Navy SEAL stuff, and it is... You just think of it as dancing, but really it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah. And then that dance, it breaks out into a greater dance fight in the club. And, it just escalates from there, where it's all taken very seriously. Like, no one is, like, joking around here. They're taking...
I don't know if there was a single joke in the whole movie. I laughed a lot, but I don't think there was a single joke in the whole movie.
It's a very funny movie. There is no actual comedic elements to the movie. Like, they're not trying to be funny at all, but it is just hilarious in how seriously it takes itself.
You gotta watch it with friends and just sit here and talk about it as you watch it, because it's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
You don't need to... You can talk over the plot because there really isn't one.
There is no plot, and I mentioned that as we were watching it. It was like...
These are his favorite movies, remember?
Literally all of the plot scenes are filler. These movies are about dancing. It's just... anything in between the big dance scenes is filler to get to the next dance scene. They'll add in a generic romance to hold your attention, but that's not what the movies are about. That's not what they pretend to be about. These movies are about dancing and looking at people who can dance well and seeing what kind of cool dance they can do.
And now turning into basically the Yu-Gi-Oh cards of their universe, where they're people who live certain creeds and culture by how they dance.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in I know that's literally a thing in real life, but it's very anime-esque in this.
Yeah, it's because it's like anime, it's taken very seriously. It's, how they actualize their lives, and the importance of dance is very overstated with how, the message of this movie is literally dance can change the world and change people's lives.
It starts off by telling you that over and over and over and over.
Yeah. And so it's really trying to get you to buy into the dance aspect of it, which is what I like. This is the direction that these movies start to take, where it's it becomes all about the dance, all about how dance can change things. We need to watch Step Up Revolution.
That one's next.
Yeah.
That's next on our agenda.
Because they start to go into dance protesting.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, where it's like a like a rebellion. Right. It's a rebellion, but through dance.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is you can imagine where that goes.
Yeah.
And it's taken extra seriously then.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Oh, all right. Is that your way of segueing us into the next one then?
Sure is.
All right, then we will check out of this for another movie, and we'll be back with our thoughts on that one later.
Yep, we'll see you then.
I love you.
All right, so Step Up Revolution, the fourth installment.
Dance Revolution.
Yep, the fourth installment of the Step Up universe. How would you rank it compared to
another
the other
ranker, huh?
movies you've seen?
Okay. Okay. So we'll go with
my criteria.
Your criteria of
soundtrack.
Soundtrack was
dance and plot. How would you rank those three?
I would say it had one of my least favorite soundtracks.
I agree.
Take it or leave it for most of them. The dance was pretty solid. I don't know if I would say it's hard to say if it was better or worse than the last one. Similar.
Yeah.
I'd say the dance might be a step better in this one.
Yeah. That's one of the themes. Well, I don't know about theme, but one of the main things about this movie is that they try to escalate each time. They are similar to the Fast and Furious franchise and how they try to escalate the ridiculousness of the dance.
Yeah.
Each movie.
It opens very ridiculous.
Would you
The minutes I was laughing at what was going on.
Yeah. Would you say that the final dance number outshined the Step Up 3's dance number?
I don't think I would. I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it even outshines the second one's final dance number.
I do appreciate...
Though it was good. It was a lot. They did a lot of stuff.
I do appreciate that the final dance number in this one was not in the context of we need to win a dance battle, like a dance competition. This one, as we all know, is about protest. It's a protest dance. Revolution. It's not about winning a competition to win some money.
It's about
to
saving
make up
their
for
homes.
Our bad financial decisions, like the people in Step Up 3, which we didn't talk about much, but the man in Step Up 3 did not know how to manage
make
business.
Good financial decisions. And the plot of the last movie was, because I don't even know if we talked about the plot of the movie.
No.
They needed to win a competition so that they could make money to pay off their club so that they could keep their club.
So they could keep dancing, because they had like a dance club.
Right. That from the beginning of the movie, you thought they were in trouble, but then it showed a scene of the club.
We forgot to mention the plot in the last one, because the plots largely do not matter in these movies.
But we're going to hit them both in this one. So the club was bumping, and we were like, how do they not have money? And you find out, you see that the owner of this club, he makes decisions on his purchases that I think are his main problem.
By the way. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Step Up 3 again. He buys all sorts of shit that they don't need. I don't know why. It makes for fun-looking scenes. Yeah. But why this man needs to own any of it?
He has a boombox wall, like a wall made out of boomboxes that they all, like, you turn them on and they all turn on at the same time and play the same music. You don't have to do anything, apparently, because the main female lead in that movie was just dancing to the boombox songs.
She just woke up in the morning and went over and started music.
She knew exactly how to work it.
I'd take one look at it and be like, which one actually plays?
Yeah, and then she pressed one button and they all stopped playing.
Yep.
So there is that.
That's just one of the things.
He has like a foam trampoline room.
For no reason.
He
has a room full of very expensive shoes.
Oh, really expensive shoes.
So
they made a big highlight about it. It was a whole scene of where they just see this room of shoes.
So I think like the whole plot of that movie could be solved not really by dance or winning dance competitions, but if he would have just made better decisions with his money.
Yeah, because we could clearly see where all of his money was going to.
Yeah.
And the entire time they were just like, why do we have to pay all these bills?
Bills are stupid. I can't believe they expect us to do this.
We need to win $100,000 for this dance competition.
Man's getting us down.
Buying all these shoes. So that was basically the plot of the third movie, which is why these plots don't really matter. It's really just about the dance. All plot is filler in these movies, essentially. But Step Up 4, I would rank the plot higher than Step Up 3, just for the sheer ambition of it. It's something different, right?
I think I bought more into the characters. It seemed like there were more characters in this, like
In Revolution?
yes. Like I cared more about the relationship. I didn't really care, but I cared more than I did in the last one.
I think it also helps that this is a fresh start to the Step Up franchise. Like, these are all new characters. We don't see any old characters until the very end, which we will also talk about that sudden change that we see at the final
that
dance
last
battle.
minute
Yeah,
decision they
that
made
is
in the
not-
filming room.
It's not telegraphed at all. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would rank this movie's plot higher than Step Up 3's just because, like, it's different. We haven't seen it before. It's about protest dance, and there's all new characters, so you kind of get a fresh start with caring about them, as opposed to, like, having older characters that we already know and are established, and we care about them a lot more, while having them kind of pushed to the sidelines for new characters that's, like, a very much shoehorned in romance. And
Yeah. There was also less of, like, a lot of the things they established in the last one that we were talking about, like how it was very anime-esque, how, like, there were these different groups of dancers. You know, they fought each other via dance. Everybody was kind of on a team in this one.
Yeah.
There was no squads. There's no combat. They still kind of won something in the end.
Right.
They saved they ended up, revolution worked, dancing, solved all their problems. They were going to lose their...
so
Yeah, go ahead.
have we explained the
No,
plot of
go ahead and
Revolution?
explain the plot.
Yeah, so, yeah, the plot of Revolution is that... So it's essentially a commentary on gentrification, where this dance crew, the mob, does protest dance, which I guess in Step Up 2 they kind of also did protest
A little
dance.
bit. It's like
a little bit.
Yeah, they touched on it.
But this one, it's more like we are doing dance to get a political outcome, essentially, because their neighborhood is getting bought over by a big evil corporate dad who wants to buy the neighborhood and demolish
Big
all the
Bob's beepers.
Yeah, and demolish the neighborhood and build a luxury complex or whatever he wanted to do
Some
with
sort of hotel, I
it.
think.
Some sort of hotel with, like, I don't know, games or whatever. He wanted to make it fun, I guess, but he wanted to demolish all the businesses and homes in the area to do that. And of course, the best way to deliver that message of the horrors and realities of gentrification is through two attractive white leads. So that happens. So the main guy is another I would describe as, like, a very vanilla, attractive
I think
white
he's
guy.
a little less vanilla than Luke.
He's a bit more character
There's
in this one.
like I said, they
He's a
all
bit
have
more
a
character than the
little more
last one.
character because
Yeah.
they kind of have to.
A bit more spice.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
kind of like a rebel. You know,
Yeah.
he's a rascal.
Yeah, I told you my feelings on him throughout the movie.
Yeah, he tries to. So
He's not as toxic as Luke.
no, he's not as toxic.
He is kind of like
He does. So he has a
not a bro.
love romance affair relationship with the daughter of big evil corporate dad
Big Bob's big beepers.
that wants to buy the area and gentrify it, essentially. And so the daughter kind of goes against her father for this hot dancer, and she can also dance. So they dance together, and she joins him in his protest dance. And I did like a lot of the individual protest dance scenes. Like, I thought they worked really well. I don't know if they outshine Step Up 3's, like, individual dance scenes. I
Yeah,
do think it was
that's where I struggle with too.
I think it was a more solid.
There was just so
reason-
much of it in this one that it's like the sheer quantity of dances and little dances all mixed into one big dance. Like in the last one, it was like, this is a big dance number, and it was like one big dance number and then somebody else's turn. Whereas this one was just like they just kept going, so it seemed bigger,
I do feel like
just longer.
the story helped streamline the dances a bit more in this as compared to Step Up 3, where, like, I feel like Step Up 3, they were just kind of like shoehorning in dance scenes that didn't really make sense to have a dance scene in because it's a dance movie, so we need to have dance scenes, so we need to just, like, pick spots to put dances in. But, like, in this one, every dance scene is essentially a different protest that they do. Like, they're all planned out, like, they're all purposeful in some way. They're supposed to mean something. Whereas in Step Up 3, like they just kind of like threw dance scenes in because you needed a dance scene at this point.
Yeah.
But I really don't know which one I like. I'm honestly leaning more towards I like Revolution better than Step Up 3. Just because I do like the story more. I like that it's a fresh start. I like its new setting that's different from like New York, Baltimore-esque, like northern cities kind of. This definitely has a different style and feel to it as compared to the other Step Up movies because of where it's located at.
Feels a little older even.
Yeah.
Like, before, it's weird, like with Step Up 1 and 2, you're kind of dealing with high school-aged people.
Yeah.
And then
this
Step
one,
Up
like,
3, they were in
they're
college.
adults, yeah.
And now they're just working adults.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. When we first started, I didn't think, because like we just watched a whole other movie. I wasn't quite ready to hop into another one, but I did take to this one pretty quick. I was like, okay, I'm in for another one of these movies. So
yeah, I find
it caught me pretty quick.
I do find Revolution as like a very entertaining movie.
Yeah, I'd say the dances are more like flashy and fun.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last one, the dances were like, oh wow, these are some like, not that they're not all talented. I just feel like the third dancers were just like, holy fuck level.
Yeah,
it's why they had to bring them back for the end of this one.
We also have to note that like in this movie, there's no dance competition in Revolution. They're not dancing against.
But you do notice that is something that just kind of felt a little odd going into like the end. It was just like
them dancing. Yeah.
They just have to beat the man.
So in Revolution, they're essentially dancing against society, right? Well, no,
aren't we all?
Aren't we all dancing against? Yeah, that's the main message. I feel like Revolution had a better message. In Step Up 3, they're dancing against other dance groups and trying to like beat them out dance-wise and ideologically wise. Yeah, because they're the better, nicer dance group.
I'd say this Step Up 3 felt more like we have to make another Step Up movie, and this one felt more like we have something to say in this.
Yeah, we have a plan. We have a story that we want to execute.
Yeah.
And we're going to execute that through dance.
Yeah. You know? Even though it doesn't make any... See, but then you go back to the third one, and it's like, what they're trying to achieve in that one makes absolute sense through dance. What they achieve in this one does not make any sense via dance. That's where it gets a little out of control.
Yeah, like, so, like, after, like, the big final dance battle in this, like, two of the main characters run up to each other and like, we did it! And we were both like, no, you didn't. Like, you haven't accomplished anything
Nothing
yet.
has been solved yet.
Nobody did the dance.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't know that you actually changed anyone's minds, which, like, of course, it's a movie. The guy changed his mind because that's what the movie said. But, like...
But you know what, though? They had taken that victory lap before the guy changes. The guy had to see his daughter dance with the main dude to be like, oh, I've changed my mind.
Very sensually, by the way. It's not like a... It's like a PG-13 dance that they do.
Yeah, it was this was a way of not having a sex scene in the movie, was this.
Essentially, yeah. But yeah, no, it worked. Like, the evil corporate dad changed his ways, and he's like, I'm not going to be an evil corporate dad anymore. Like, I'm going to renege on this contract that I already agreed upon and signed on, and it's already happening. And I said earlier in the movie that's already happening and that we can't do anything against it. But it's okay because you changed my mind through dance, so we're going to stop the development of this property. I'm going to potentially lose out on millions of dollars because
it's a little wacky.
You danced so well today that it convinced me.
I'm out.
And that is the power of dance, and that's what this movie is trying to say, is that if you dance hard enough, you can probably
do anything.
Change corporations' minds on the decisions that they make.
At least these characters really believe so.
Yeah, and I mean, it worked.
And it worked.
Yeah. So who are we to say?
People that live in the real world.
Right.
Yeah. There were many moments, as we said, that a lot of these dance numbers, how they start and how they go about, they would be shot. They would all be shot.
Oh, immediately. Because, like,
or attacked by the police on site. Yeah,
they make it very clear from the beginning of this movie that, like, they are committing crimes by doing the dances that they do.
Oh, yeah. Before it became a movie about protest, it was a movie about robbing and heists via dance.
Via dance, yeah. Well, they're not robbing anyone.
Okay.
I don't think they robbed anyone.
Yeah.
But they do commit heists through dance where they are in places that they're clearly not supposed to dance at, and they start dancing it anyways. Like the art gallery, where like they're like part of the... like.
Not really sure why. They just want to be heard. I think
they want to be heard. They want to go viral.
City is theirs too. even though they're the middle or the under. They might be the lower class.
Publicity stunts that they're trying to perform. But like in the art gallery, they literally paint themselves like the art and like stand on the art. That's not allowed.
Yeah, you're getting tased at least.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You suspend your disbelief, though, for the movie.
You suspend your disbelief, yeah, but like, they block traffic, they dance on people's cars.
Oh, yeah, like I said at the beginning, this was the first movie where the cops did, because the cops are usually a big part of all these movies. This was the first movie where I was like, yeah, this is something the cops would break up.
Yeah.
Nothing else in any of the other movies made sense.
Well, even like...
The first one had some sense.
One of the first lines of dialogue in the entire movie is like, there's a 50-50 chance we'll get arrested by the cops. Right. You remember that?
I do remember.
Yeah, that was like one of the first lines of this movie.
Because I didn't know what they were going to do at that point. I was like, of course.
Yeah, so you're aware right away that like these are dance criminals. They're up to no good with their dance, or up to the greater good.
It's not very subtle.
It.
The movie really just kicks off.
Yeah,
I laughed. The beginning made me laugh really hard with how crazy it got very quick.
But yeah, with that being said, some of the stunts that they pull in the places that they pull it, they would be shot or tased, like, immediately. They would not be able to finish out their dance routine. All the corporate business people would not, like, stand around for 10 minutes gawking at them for them to do their dance routine. Security would shoot them or tase them.
There is a point in this movie where security arrests two of the, I would say, the generals of the mob, and you're like, oh, they're gonna go to jail. Like, the mob, everything they've done in the movie so far has been on. They show like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. It's on worldwide news. They're like the second. I think they make the #1 video on YouTube at one point, and they go to jail and like I don't even know who that old man was, but some like old father figure to them just bails them out,
and they're fine.
There's no like, hey, we caught this terrorist organization, the leaders. We should probably hold them and like stop all this.
Right.
Nope, they just get out because the movie needs to continue.
Yep.
Somebody's got to save the city.
What did you think of this main romance compared to last main romance?
I think I said before I bought into this one better.
I agree. I also bought into this one more. I never bought into the A-plot romance of Step Up 3. No. Because I don't care about any of those characters. But in this one, it was a fresh start. I sensed their attraction to one another. Like, I believed that those people could actually be attracted to one another and into each other.
He's very competent.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The main character is overly competent.
He almost sexually harasses her, but it's fine because she's into it.
It's a lot less weird than the guy following the girl around with a big fucking camera in the last movie.
Yeah, that was weird. So, speaking of previous movies, the final dance scene has a bit of a surprise in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not telegraphed at all. We don't get any indication.
It comes out of complete nowhere.
But basically, in this final dance scene, the cast members from Step Up 2, and I guess Step Up 3, but it's, I guess, like a double whammy this time where, like, they show up in the final dance number. So, Moose, I forget her name. Name's like Kiko or something. The Asian dancer.
I know what you're talking about. I do not remember her name. And the robot guy.
I think Monster and the robot guy all show up in this movie in the final dance battle. And like they show up and you're like, is that them? Which I think was like supposed to be the effect of the whole scene, is like they are supposed to be a surprise that they showed up there.
Which they were. I mean, to me, I was like, oh.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, we know them. And they did great. Obviously, like, I like their dance routines. It was just really funny that like the movie does not indicate that's about to happen at all. Like, they just
you don't know why they would be connected because it's hundreds of miles away from each other.
There's no indication. There's no setup. There's no connection of like, oh, I knew his cousin or whatever.
Channing Tatum doesn't know the one character to bring. There's no connective tissue.
Yeah, it's just they just show up because we know them from past movies. So it's going to be a good moment to where we go, oh, they were in the last movie, and it's going to be great, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't hate it that they're in it.
I don't mind. They're literally I don't think it's on purpose, but like I said, at one point there is a line where the dad says, Moose introduces himself to the dad, and he says, "I'm Moose," and the guy's like, "Why Moose?" And Moose says, "Why not Moose?"
Right.
And I just feel like that's him directly saying, like, people are probably asking, "Oh, why are these characters just here?" Well, why not?
Well, why not?
And I'm like, well, you're right. I'm glad. I was glad to see them.
It was glad.
Always good to see Moose.
they're starting to embrace the premise that no one watches these movies for the story. They're just here to watch good dancers dance.
Yeah.
And Moose is a good dancer.
And it's a treat for people that have watched all the movies up to this point.
Yeah, and no one would hate that he shows up here, even though it doesn't make any logical sense.
Nope.
Because he's a good dancer, and he danced his heart out. And I'm not mad about it.
I'm always happy to see him dancing.
Yep.
So, yeah, in a weird way, it's all...
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
won me
did
over.
we ever mention back to Step Up 3, speaking of Moose and his possible criminal activity? Did we ever talk about how he stole that guy's hat?
Not in the podcast, no.
No.
Yeah, Moose steals a hat.
Moose does steal a hat. So this is just something that we kind of remarked upon in Step Up 3. There's a scene where he's with Allison Stoner, who is like his love interest / best friend in the movie. Like they start off as best friends, but like they're clearly like should be together. But he doesn't realize it yet, and he has to split his life between dance and school and Allison Stoner, and he messes up. But eventually they come together and reconcile, and they reconcile, of course, through dance. And the dance number where Allison Stoner and Moose finally reconcile, they're like on a street in New York, basically. They're doing a dance off of a song that is playing from an ice cream truck. And
yep, they paid the ice cream truck driver to play the song.
Yeah, to play the song
louder.
Hear
through the city.
And there's a taxi cab where a guy is getting into it as they're starting their dance. And the guy has a hat, and Moose just takes his hat as a part of his dance routine and starts dancing with his hat. And we both thought at the time that like he was just going to
pass him the
he was going to use the
hat
hat as like a little dance bit and then pass the hat back. But no, he keeps the hat and just runs away.
At one point you hear the guy go, "That's my hat.
That's my hat."
But
and the
nothing
guy
doesn't
do anything to, like, he doesn't chase Moose.
He doesn't do a damn thing.
Like, I see in the background, like, they must have just told the extras to, like, hold in their place, because in the background, the extras are not doing anything. They're just standing still.
Watching this chaos ensue.
Yeah. And he keeps the hat. And Allison Stoner, even at one point, like, takes the hat off of his head and, like, puts his hat back on. Is like, here's your hat.
Fix it, yeah. This is yours now. This
is yours that you just stole in front of me, but it's okay because you danced really well about it.
Dancing solves everything.
Dancing solves everything in these movies.
And I'm on board. If you can watch other things where something silly is like the main big deal thing that changes the world, I can get down with dance being that thing.
Because honestly, none of it matters.
You won me over.
Yeah, the whole point about these movies is that nothing matters in life but dance.
To these people, for sure.
To these people, yeah.
And I think you said before that the Revolution, the fourth one, upped its seriousness, and I would agree. Yeah. It was very
Revolution.
serious.
So all of these movies, which this is one of the qualities that I find very endearing about all of these movies, is that they take themselves incredibly seriously. And Revolution is like that amped up to a T, where it's like, we can literally change the world through our dance, and we are going to do it, and it works. Because they dance so well that they can change, I guess, like the mechanisms of capitalism.
Yeah, society itself.
Society as a whole.
Shook into its core.
Like they can change that.
They're going to end racism in the next one.
And it's so endearing because it's played so seriously. Like they are 100% serious about this. They don't acknowledge the silliness of it at all. In fact, it's treated as like the solution to everything.
And as a viewer, it makes for something to laugh at.
Yeah, it's fun.
I had a good time.
That's what makes them really fun.
I had a really good time.
It's like I don't think they would be as good movies if they didn't take themselves that seriously.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna go 100%. You're gonna step up.
You're gonna step up.
You're gonna dance
to the revolution.
Yeah. So we'll do another one of these down the road because there's one more movie, and I know there's like a show. Maybe we could watch the show, maybe even a season of it. And
but the final Step Up movie combines like the storylines of all of the previous Step Up movies into one, where it like brings all the old characters back into one movie from both Revolution, Step Up 2, Step Up 3 into one. Channing Tatum's not there, but that's okay.
The Avengers of Step Ups.
Yeah, it's essentially the Avengers of Step Up, where they all the worlds collide and they dance together.
Nice. I wish Channing Tatum would be there, but I understand.
The only reason is because Channing Tatum got way too big for these movies.
And nobody else from these movies even remotely did.
Nope, not at all. Except for, we also, like, in Revolution, there's like two
they throw
pretty famous guys.
Sprinkle in.
Evil Corporate Dad is someone, like, he's a famous actor guy that I don't know the name of, but he is in other things. He's a recognizable face.
Oh, yeah. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah.
And there's one other person that was recognizable.
Oh, it was the grandpa from George Lopez.
Yeah, grandpa from George Lopez is in this, too.
Yeah, real quick. But
yeah,
he's there.
Roll at the very end. He has a little funny dance moment, and that's it. Yeah.
That's almost where it got a little too silly.
Yeah.
When it was showing him dance, I was like, oh, it's silly now.
But Chase, overall, how would you feel like you would say your experience with the Step Up movies are so far?
Getting through 4 of them, I've had a really good time. I like watching the evolution of things.
Talking about revolution.
Yeah.
We're talking about evolution.
Yeah, we can't have revolution without evolution, and it's certainly a series that evolves. 3 kind of, it's a little bit of a standstill in the evolution chain, but I feel like it bumps it up enough so that 4 can kind of run.
Yeah.
It's gone from, like I said, the first one's like a rom-com with dance.
Yeah.
Not even rom-com, like a
romance with dance.
Dance. Dance being, it was like 50-50. Now we're at like, 30-70.
Dance. In favor.
Plot, romance, all that jazz. So you kind of watch that happen because, like, I can understand why all these other ones didn't go to theaters, unlike the first one.
Right.
So, I'm having a good time. I'm looking forward to watching the next one when we do in the show and doing another one of these. They're always a pretty fun time, and I get a good laugh. I mean, I was laughing a lot today, so
yeah,
I'm in it.
They're very unintentionally funny movies.
This. Yeah. Cool.
Well, do you have anything else to say
about Step Up?
Yeah,
not really.
Or your life?
I don't think so. I think we've drained this well pretty dry.
Yeah, we really did drain this snake.
Yeah.
Talking about peeing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really have to pee because we've been sitting here all day and I haven't got up.
Yeah, we haven't moved one bit.
So I should probably take care of that.
Yeah, you should probably do that. But do you have any signing off words for our
I guess
shitters?
I just have a few things to give to say to the shitters. Just a few announcements, I guess.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Same old. Check out Nerd Shit in the Dark on all of our platforms.
Forums, yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, they're on YouTube. I think they're on some other things. I don't know what those are, but if you look us up, see if you can find us. Follow us there. We have new episodes every other Tuesday. Also, check out our side podcast, South Park in the Dark. That comes out every Wednesday, where me and Swag talk about South Park for 40 to 50 minutes. We're working on t-shirts. Hopefully have those out pretty soon. So
yep.
If you want your very own shitter t-shirt, we'll get a hold of you.
Shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email at nerdshitinthedark@gmail.com. Our official email Gmail.
If you're interested.
I think that's all I really have to say about all that stuff.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say as well.
All right then. Well then, on that note, shitters, thanks for coming along on another grand journey with us at Nerd Shit in the Dark. Another episode where we talk about Step Up. Can't wait for a few more months to pass, and we'll get back to the last movie and maybe some of the series.
Yeah.
But until then, good night, sleep tight,
and
don't let them shit bugs
bite.
Good night.
See ya.